Hey, this is Paul Duncan, your National Guard recruiter here in Henderson. If you're watching this video, you've likely scheduled an appointment with me to go over your options within the National Guard. Or maybe you're just trying to learn a little bit more about the National Guard. That's cool as well. But if you've already scheduled an appointment with me, this video is intended to give you a quick overview of what we do so we can hit the ground running during our meeting. So before we jump into the details, I want you to grab a pen and a piece of paper. And as we go through this presentation, I want you to take as detailed notes as possible and also write down any questions that come to mind. This way, when we get on that phone call or during that meeting, we can make the most of our time together. And at the end of the video, send me a message with your notes and questions so that I can better prepare for our one-on-one. This is going to help us dive more into the specifics that matter most to you when we meet. So I'm going to keep this as brief as possible, but just remember, during our phone call or our meeting, we can address your specific goals and come up with a tailored plan that's geared specifically to you. All right, what is the National Guard? So first off, the Guard is the oldest branch of military service, founded in 1636, pretty long history. So yeah, we've been around for a minute. All right, we're a part-time service. We're a component of the United States Army, but a lot of people think that we're the same as the Army Reserves. The thing that makes the National Guard unique is that we are the only branch that serves both the state and the federal government, while every other branch solely works under the federal government. So this means we can be activated by the state during emergencies when the governor needs us. But if the feds need backup for something big, like a national crisis, National Guard units can help with that as well. However, that is not our primary focus. The National Guard's main objective is to serve the community in the state. So that might mean natural disasters, wildfires, floods, hurricanes, riots, things along those lines are things that the National Guard might respond to. We've got a nationwide presence of over 360,000 people across all 50 states, DC, Guam, Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico. That means if you're in the National Guard, you're a part of a huge network. And because of that, you have the flexibility to relocate anywhere in the United States without a problem. That's pretty important for people to understand that they're not locked into this one specific location like they would be if they chose the active duty route. So in short, the National Guard is here for our community, our state, our country, ready to step up when needed, but at the same time, giving you the flexibility to live your life and chase your goals in the meantime. If you have more specifics about what the National Guard does or what we do or whatever, just make sure you write down those questions and we can go over it when we talk. All right, let's talk about the time commitment. A lot of people lose interest in the military when they realize how big the commitment actually is. I mean, if we're being real, active duty is essentially a 24/7 commitment for 4 years, right? So for many, that's a scary thought. So if you're worried about having to sign up for something that takes up all your time, let me put your mind at ease, because once you're through initial entry training, your service is 2 days per month and 1 weekend per month. So 2 days per month, 15 days of training in the summertime. That total comes out to 39 days of a year. So 39 days is the minimum amount of days that you have to serve to collect all the benefits that we have going on. Can you do more with the National Guard? Of course, we have all the way up to full-time opportunities available, but most of us just do the bare minimum, which is that 39 days. So that means while you're in the National Guard, you still have the flexibility to do really whatever you want. For most of us, that's either going to college full-time, focusing on a trade, or another full-time job. But really, as long as you show up and do your minimum training commitment, you can do whatever you like. You're not tied down to this full-time military lifestyle. But you're still serving your community, your state, your country, while getting all the benefits. I always suggest to everyone the same thing. Start out part-time in the National Guard, and then if you really love the active duty lifestyle, you're going to know about that after boot camp and then decide if you want to go deeper or closer to full-time later. So just keep your options open, at least at first when you don't really know or have that much experience. All right, after you've gone through that initial application process, which we can talk about during our appointment if this is something that you want to do, you're going to start training with us. So before you head to basic training, so it could be while you're still in high school, you'll go through something called the Recruit Sustainment Program. It's a prep program designed to get you ready for the physical and mental demands of basic training. Here's what it looks like. You're going to attend monthly 2-day drill sessions where you'll start learning basic military skills and just getting your fitness assessed and just learning the basic skills of what you're going to need to know. This is your chance to ease into the lifestyle of a soldier, learning the fundamentals, getting used to the training environment, starting to develop the discipline needed for boot camp. And while you're there, you make about $317 a month if you're an E3. Depends on your rank, but we could talk more about rank later. Most people will make $317 per drill weekend. That's for 2 days. So not only are you preparing for the big training, but you're also getting paid part-time while you do it. We are actually the only branch of service that offers this paid training program. So right before you list into the National Guard, you're also going to get your basic training ship date. Basic training, otherwise known as boot camp. It's a 10-week crash course in everything that you need to know about being an Army soldier. That's where you learn the essential skills: discipline, teamwork, getting your body in shape, all the skills. The whole experience is about building you up mentally and physically so you're ready for pretty much anything. While you're in basic, you're on active duty status, meaning that you get paid full time. Again, your pay depends on your pay grade, but most people, when they go to boot camp, they're going to be an E3. Again, we can talk more about pay grades later. E3 is $2,377 a month, so $2,377 per month, plus all your expenses are covered as well, all your living expenses. So that's food, uniforms, transportation, all that stuff. So you're stacking cash while you're learning how to be a soldier. Next, you've got AIT, otherwise known as Advanced Individual Training. That's where you get hands-on training for your specific skill in the National Guard. AIT can last 6 weeks or longer, depending on the skill that you choose. Same deal as boot camp. You're on active duty training status. So as an E3, you're going to be looking at just under $2,400 a month. Most recruits will stack about $9,000 to $11,000 of that fat cheddar for the duration of their training. Most young adults that join the National Guard are considering going to college. So if you plan on taking full advantage of the state and government benefits, this is a very important slide to understand. Let's talk about how the National Guard can seriously help you make bank while you're in the Guard or in college. First off, you get 100% of your tuition is exempt. Meaning, if you are in the National Guard for however long you're in the National Guard, you are 100% tuition exempt. That means you pay zero tuition cost in Nevada. Nothing. Zero. On top of that, if you're a full-time student, you're going to be entitled to what's called the GI Bill. And if you score over a 50 on the ASVAB, the GI Bill and the GI Bill kicker. So the GI Bill is a check from the federal government that's intended to help with your tuition cost. That pays $466 a month if you're a full-time student. Books are reimbursed as well. If you qualify for the GI Bill kicker, that's another $350 a month. You need a 50 on the ASVAB to get that. If you get both, you're looking at $816 a month, plus your drill pay, which is another $317 a month, which we just talked about. You're looking at about $1,100 a month if you're a full-time student, on top of your tuition being waived. If you're really into the leadership aspect, we could also talk about additional ways to get even more cash and more scholarships through things like the ROTC program. But even if you just do the minimum and you're going to school full-time, you're between the drill pay, the kicker, and the GI Bill, you're looking at about $1,100 a month as a full-time student on top of your tuition being waived. So just imagine graduating debt-free with money in your pocket instead of drowning in student loans. If you're not looking to go to college, you can also go to a trade school. We pay that as well through the Federal Tuition Assistance Program. All right, let's be real. Everybody knows the military comes with great federal benefits, so I'm not going to dive into each one of these, but here's just a quick list: health insurance, life insurance, federal retirement plan. You could be 37 years old, vested for retirement, potentially even earlier with the blended retirement program. Space age travel, you can fly on military aircraft for free or cheap. VA home loans, you can buy a house with no money down. Military discounts everywhere, always. Access to military installations, all the things. These are just highlights, but if you're curious about any of these specific details, just write down your questions and ask me. All right, Super basic requirements, at least the initial requirements are pretty basic. You have to be at least 17. You have to have your high school diploma. Or if you're in high school, you can join as early as your junior year and start training with us your junior year, or during your senior year as well, once you're 17. You have to pass a medical exam before you can join. You have to pass a criminal background check. U.S. citizens and permanent residents only. Um, we could talk about the rest later. You also have to pass your ASVAB test. We could talk about that over the phone as well. That's it for now. I want to cut it here. This is what I want you to do next. Now that you got kind of a basic overview of what everybody gets, take a few minutes, write down any notes or questions that you have during this overview. Be as specific as possible. This is your time to clarify anything that you're curious or unsure of. If I don't have the answer, I can find the answer for you. Once you have your notes ready, send them my way so I can prep for our appointment and make sure that we're covering everything that's important to you. Just remember, this is about helping you make the best decision for your future. Okay? Can't wait to chat soon. Talk to you later.